What's going on, everyone? Sports back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the trade that just went down between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the St. Louis Blues, as the Leafs have struck a big deal, leading up, of course, to that beginning of March NHL trade deadline that is on the 3rd of March, so it's coming up in 2 weeks, for exactly 2 weeks. So the Leafs jumped the gun and strike this deal here tonight, Friday night, and I like the deal when I'm first looking at it. This marks the third consecutive season where the Toronto Maple Leafs have acquired a captain of an NHL team before the deadline. Of course, in 2021, Nick Foligno, 2022, Mark Giordano, and 2023, Ryan O'Reilly. That shows that the Leafs are building, a crazy leadership-built team. And the crazy thing is, all three of those guys grew up Leaf fans and grew up in the Toronto area. So that's a cool concept. And this is a home run for the Leafs, in my opinion. Not only are you getting Ryan O'Reilly, but you're also getting Noel Acciari. Both guys are very solid. Both guys are going to really help you in the long run here, and that's what the Leafs are trying to, do here. And at the end of the day, what's very good about this trade here right now is that the Leafs don't. Take on a lot of cap. So it leaves, an option for, another trade, right? It obviously leaves room for another big deal for the Leafs if they were to go out and get, not that I think it's likely, because I think it's unlikely, but a Jacob Chikrin or Jake McCabe, I think, is a little bit more likely. Like, if they want to get one of those guys, that's definitely still on the table here with that move, because at the end of the day, you're not taking on much here, in terms of the Ryan O'Reilly contract, right? He makes $7.5 million this year, but you're only paying him $1.87 million because 75% of that salary is taken. So we're paying under $2 million for Ryan O'Reilly, and that leaves the Leafs with still, a couple, some contracts that they can get rid of, like Kerfoot and Justin Hall, and still, a little bit of budget. In terms of Noel Acciari, I think he's another, good ad for the Leafs. I think he's a solid player. Of course, we saw him in those couple series when he was with the Bruins. He was a killer against us because he was such a grinding, center who, got under skin, and he was a good physical player. With the signing of these two guys combined, the Leafs are taking on about $3 million. I don't think any of Noel Acciari's contract is retained. I mean, he's only making 1.25 on a 1-year short-term deal. And both guys are in their 30s, on expiring UFA contracts, but I think this definitely makes sense, for both teams, especially the Leafs. I mean, looking at it from the St. Louis side of things, they're getting, pretty good amount of draft capital here. They're also getting Mikhail Abramov, who's a promising young prospect, but the Leafs are giving a first and third in this upcoming draft to St. Louis and a second-round pick next year. So they're trading a lot of draft capital, and they're also trading a fourth-round pick to Minnesota to take on the 25% of O'Reilly's salary. And then if you're looking at it from a Leafs perspective, although you're getting a couple guys on expiring contracts, at least for Ryan O'Reilly, in terms of him, I think he's going to resign. I've heard from a lot of people, around the Toronto area, and just, people that, have some inside knowledge that, he's wanted to play for the Leafs for a long time. He was pushing for this, and at this point in his career, he just wants to continue to win Stanley Cups. Of course, he already won one, but he probably, just wants to win cups, and, obviously Toronto's a pretty good place to do that, and I think he could definitely sign, for cheap. Maybe not as cheap as Giordano, but $2 million, around that. I mean, he's made his money in his career, coming off that big contract, but I think O'Reilly definitely could be back, and same could be said for Noel Acciari if he's looking for somewhere, in a cheap area. Acciari's played in 54 games this year. He's scored 10 goals, had 8 assists, so not great numbers, but definitely good enough to be a fourth-line center type of guy, fourth-line player. I think it's a really good trade for the Leafs. I think Acciari's an underrated piece of this deal, because I think he's really good too, but as for O'Reilly, he's missed a few games this year. He's played 40, so he's missed a bit of time. He'll be playing his 1,000th game in 22 games. But he's played 40 games this year, scored 12 goals, has 7 assists for 19 points. He's, kind of having an off year, but playing with St. Louis, they haven't been great this year. So, but I really like the move for the Leafs. Where could these guys fit? O'Reilly's probably going to go to the third-line center role. I think he could fit well there, depending who's on his line. I think this kind of changes everything for the Leafs. Not sure if they play tomorrow, but hopefully they do play soon. But overall, guys, I like the move from Kyle Dubas. I think I really like the move. I think it makes sense for the Leafs, and it leaves options open, of course, because we're not taking on any big salaries, and we didn't trade any of our great prospects like Nyes or Robertson or Topi Niemelä, so we still have options open to strike a big deal again. But this is a good move for the Leafs, a very, very, very good move. I like Ryan O'Reilly. Hopefully this isn't it for the Leafs for still 2 weeks, but I really do like the move, and I think that both these guys could be back here next year. I think it's really likely that O'Reilly is not a rental. As for Acciari, I think it's pretty 50-50. Depends how the Leafs do, if he likes it here or not. But both guys I think could be back next year. Acciari, I'm not even going to make any guesses right now or predictions, but I think O'Reilly will be with the Leafs beyond this year. I really do. I think he kind of pushed to come to Toronto, and I hope that's true, and I really think it is true, and I think O'Reilly will be with the Leafs beyond just this season. But guys, that's all I got in this video. You guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on this trade for the Leafs. It is a great move for the Leafs. I'm really excited about it. And you guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on the move. Let me know all the good stuff down in the comment section. As always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys on the next video. I'll keep you guys posted. Have tons of content for all the major sports, and of course with the Leafs, have you locked on for the for the playoffs too. But trade deadline and content in NBA, NFL, MLB, soccer, NHL, all that good stuff. So stay tuned. And we'll see you guys on the next video. Go Leafs, go.